Hello, hello, hello. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Oh my gosh, it's actually really beautiful today in Las Vegas. So it's been really cold here in Vegas too. Nothing like, not cold like other places cold. But I'm saying since it kind of was cold like everywhere. It feels like the last couple of days. So it was even kind of cold here. But today it's really nice. I mean, it's still chilly. Look, I have like boots and a sweatshirt, but it's sunny, it's nice. We actually had clouds for quite a few days, which is very rare in Vegas. So I haven't done my nunchucks in forever, so I thought I'd do some nunchucks today. It's finally like warm enough to be out here to do some nunchucks. We went to a morning meeting this morning, which was wonderful. We went to a different one. I kind of like this one better now. I'm like, oh, I'm bad about that where I'm like, want to only go to one meeting and then I'll go to another one and I'm like, only want to go to that meeting and then I go to that one and then I go to that and I'm like, just like, let's just change it up. I'm like, I know I get really like stuck on certain groups, but I really like this one. It was a good one. So good way to start the morning. Gloria's already at the gym and Annette's been walking a lot because it's a beautiful day. So I'm going to do a little nunchucks and then we'll have a little chat. So hope everyone's having a good Tuesday. Man, I haven't done these in forever. I'm like slow. I really haven't done these in so long. Moving much slower. Feels good. Get back out here. Do a little nunchucks. It's been a minute. And this shirt was from Amanda Panda, in case I forgot my name. So thank you, Amanda Panda. She got me this, I guess, last 2024. Wow, 2 years ago now, huh? Crazy. Time flies. This is a good workout for me right now. I haven't done this in so long. You'd be surprised how tiring these are to do, especially if because you kind of get in shape with them if you do them more often. If you don't do them for a while, you're like, you work a lot of muscles in your arms. Oh, fall these rocks too with these boots. Oh, that's good for now. Oh my gosh, we have like 3 hummingbird feeders now. It's a hummingbird paradise here. Loving it. We love hummingbirds. Whew. We actually love all birds, but if you try to feed the other birds, the pigeons come. And I love pigeons, but they become a nuisance. All right, do one more time. It's a little harder in these boots. I'll fall my ass, my arse. Okay, let's pop a squat, y'all. That felt good though to do little nunchucks. It's been a minute. Alrighty. I have a little water here. Alrighty, so I'm not doing the rest of the workout out here anymore. I'll just, on a nice day, I'm gonna maybe try to come out here and do nunchucks. We're gonna try to start doing lives a little more. We needed a break for a minute, but I think I'm ready to start doing them again.
How did you get the bees off of the hummingbird feeder?
Well, why they were on there is it wasn't screwed on fully tightly, but then it got screwed on too tightly, and then we couldn't get open at all. So then we had to get new ones. And these ones, I guess, have not been an issue yet.
You mentioned it, but look, there are bees.
Oh, the bees. Shoot. But the other one, I think, was leaking, and that one finally got stuck where we couldn't even open it anymore.
It's because I spilled it up when I refilled it. It's on the outside.
But they like these new feeders. We've had to go through a couple different feeders because they're picky. They don't like certain ones because some of them don't have like a good spot for them to land on. And they don't like it. They like look pretty, but like one of them we have, it looks really pretty, but it's too fat. It's like this pretty like ball. And they don't like it because it's in their way when they're trying to eat. So they're very picky, we found out. They let you know, the birds are very expressive. Same with Casper, our bunny. He's extremely expressive. It was so funny. We've been pretty much cutting out all of his kibbles, and it drives him nuts. and he thinks that we don't know what he wants when we totally know what he wants. We're like, dude, we know what you want. You're too fat. We can't give it to you. The vet said no more. And so he like has just been pulling apart. So he has this one area where it has his food and it's connected to the litter box, but it broke at some point. It's the wood. So he pulls it apart. Like I push it together, but now he does this thing where he pulls it all apart and like just rips the whole thing apart. And I'm like, well, excuse me. And I wake up in the morning, there's bowls everywhere. And I'm like, we know you want your little pellets, but you can't have them, Casper. He's a little ornery thing.
The bees try to get in there, but they can't.
Oh, good.
But the hummingbirds get really mad. They come over and they get mad at the bees. They get mad at everybody. They get mad at me.
Yeah, they're really sweet. So I knew that they wanted one in the front. Here, I'll turn it like this. Because there was a hummingbird. I opened the little front window, and there was a hummingbird that was like pretty aggressively, but not like. It's hard to describe what's aggressive on a hummingbird. They come like erratically at the window. And I was like, oh, he wants a feeder out there because we used to have one out there. But then we had moved it back here when the other one broke, and then they didn't like that one, and then we've been in the process of like returning hummingbird feeders to Amazon. It's not intentional. They just didn't like the ones. So we went through like 3 other ones. It's crazy. We do that a lot. We're the worst for that. But the stuff's still in perfect shape, so I don't think Amazon really cares. They just sell it as like almost new for most of that stuff. But anyways, let's see. So yeah, we went to the meeting. I love going in the morning because it really like sets off your day, right? Oh, and I've had like a couple of like times that in a way were I guess a challenge in a sense, and like I've gotten through those, and so it feels really good. So like every time like I go to the strip, and if I don't get alcohol in any way, or like even if I'm offered it, like it feels really good. And part of what really helps, I was mentioning to Rich, is like knowing that you're going to a morning meeting. Like I don't know, there's just something about it like where like I want to like wake up, I want to feel good, I want to look good in the morning, and I want to be like hungover, and so it just helps keep me sober at least. So I like that. And a guy who was there that had 7 years, so it's inspirational to see people. 7 years, the guy had 3 years, so it's nice to see people that have gone much further than you. So I feel very inspired, and we've just been watching a lot of sports lately, just doing a lot of, so like in the mornings we go to meetings, and then now that's getting warmer, we actually want to start getting a little more active with maybe going back to the pool. It'd still be indoor though because it's not warm enough for outdoor, but eventually maybe want to get like a gym membership again or something, just to kind of stay more active. But we've definitely been really trying to like be more healthy and be more active, and less of like just sitting around, because we were doing a lot of sitting around, of like sleeping and sitting around, and each day we're doing less. Where I still at night go to bed pretty early, but then I also work at night, so I don't like sleep all through the night. It's not like I'll go to bed sometimes at like 5 or 6, but then I'll wake up at like 10, and then I'll wake up again at like midnight, or wake up, like all different times throughout the night, and sometimes go out to work, sometimes not. But we really like are just feeling good around here, and it's hard sometimes because things are still not like great yet, in the sense of like it got pretty bad with my drinking. Like things got behind a bit, like not too bad, but just like I was taking care of like the bare minimum in a sense. So like we really never got like ahead all last year. We kind of were just like trying to stay above water all year. So when I have like my head on my shoulders, then it can be much better. And so all of us around here are just like, I don't know, everyone's doing good. Gloria went to the doctor yesterday, and they don't like her diabetes level. She hasn't been good about taking her medicine, and she's wants to put sugar always in her coffee and stuff. She does a decaf coffee now and tea, and so.
Candace is here.
Oh, hey, Amanda Panda. Yeah, this shirt's from Amanda Panda. Thank you.
Proud of you going to your meeting.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I really enjoy them. It's really helpful. You know, like I was white knuckling it all last year, you know, where the times went in between drinking, and I usually was kind of just planning on drinking again, like when I went to New York. But now I don't know if I'm ever going to go to New York again. Like everyone's like, oh, just wait till you go to New York. I don't know if I am going to be honest. If I go to New York, it has to be when I'm very comfortable with my sobriety, like not now. Because it's not worth it for me to risk my sobriety. So if that time never comes, then I'm not going to go back, which makes me sad because I do love New York. And I was talking to Rich about this yesterday, and he's just like, he's kind of confused about it because he's like, I don't really understand. He's like, I mean, I get New York's awesome, but like, he's like, it's kind of like disastrous for you when you go there. And I was like, I know. That's why I don't want to go back, but I do love New York. And I really do, and I really do miss it. But when I saw the weather there, right now, it looks beautiful. When you're looking at it from afar, you go, oh, how nice would that be to be in Central Park while they're, snowboarding in Central Park or something like that. They're doing. But it is cold there when you're in person, if it's that cold. Because I've never been there when they had that much snow, which snow actually isn't as bad as some of the other times. Like wind is the worst. But when it's windy and cold out there, good Lord. But I went there that one January. I think it was January. It was either I don't remember if it was January 2024 or January 2025, because I went both Januaries. But one of those Januaries, they had a storm come through. I think it was 2024, to be honest. It was so miserable to go outside. And that's what sucks, because you want to walk everywhere in New York. Like, it's cool. You want to go check everything out. But when it's that cold, you're like, okay, let me just go exactly where I need to go. And then you get back inside. But when you're staying in a hotel room, and even most people that live there have pretty small places, unless they're very wealthy, then when it's not nice out, like, it sucks because you're just cooped up inside for a really long time. And sometimes when you live there, it can go from like definitely January, February, March are all usually really cold. You just don't want to go outside. So I'm actually getting hot right here with these pants. Isn't that something? Like I'm feeling the heat coming through my pants. That's wonderful. That's actually great. I'm very happy about that because I don't know. I didn't think it'd be that warm. It feels really good out here. I thought it was gonna be cold, and I don't know. You know, as much as I miss New York, there's so many days when I'm in Vegas and I'm like, oh, it's just so nice that it's nice out, you know? Because that is the thing about New York. That's the worst thing is the weather. But then it's also cool, the weather, too, you know what I mean? Because it's got crazy weather and, it snows and it's beautiful and, like December when it's covered in snow, it's gorgeous to have Christmas in New York if there's snow and stuff like that. But when you're there, it's like, man, you're just cold. Because it's on the ocean right there, it's an island. So it's just so cold when it's cold. And I know it gets colder other places too, but I don't go to those places like Chicago. No, thank you. Antarctica, no, thank you. I'm good. Net's been watching a lot of 30 Seconds to Mars. She actually watches YouTube all day on her laptop. She doesn't ever want to watch her TV anymore. It's really fun. We have this really nice smart TV for her that would show the videos big, but she likes to sit with her little laptop. She likes laptops. I think she feels like she's working. But that's Jared Leto, who's also an actor. Yeah, that guy, he's a handsome little guy. He's a tiny little guy. But they filmed this one. I think it was called something Lie. Something Lie is what the song's called. But they filmed it in I think it was like the Arctic Circle or something like that, where there was like Eskimos or whatever, and it's the most beautiful video. But Annette has just been all on this 30 Seconds to Mars kick. And it's great. She's been really into like a lot of like harder rock lately too. It's funny because she plays her music all day and night, like on her computer. So even when she's not here, we don't stop it. So we just let it play. So when she goes for walks, because she walks all day and night, you know. She's out. I don't like when she's gone real late at night, but you know, I can't stop her. But I get worried about it. But she always comes back. So she didn't used to come back, but now she always comes back. But she'll go all hours of the day and night for walks. But her music's always playing, and sometimes it's like getting harder rock lately. And I'm like, I kind of miss the like 90s and early 2000s rock. Like, that's what I was like liking it. I used to think I was like this hard. I used to like Metallica, and some of those, some of those ones you think. What were some of the ones like that? Like System of a Down, and I was wondering, like, there aren't really like bands right now that really go in that category, are there? Not that you like know of. I'm sure they exist, but like it's weird how that kind of category of kind of like a little bit of harder rock, I guess they call it, kind of went away. It seems like pop has taken over a lot, which I like pop music. And I know people hate pop music, like people that like really like music often and don't really like pop music because they're like, oh, it's so generic and it's, easy listening. But that's why I like it, because I do like all types of music. I like all genres, but I like most genres I can only handle in small doses. Like hard rock, I can only have in small doses. But pop, you can just have it going all day. That's why I'll play pop in my ear, because it doesn't like distract from me in any way. It's kind of just like sing-songy in your ear all day. And I've been on this Taylor Swift kick, and I always want to like hate on Taylor Swift, like, oh, I don't like Taylor Swift. And then I'm like, okay, I like a lot of Taylor Swift songs. Like I was like, good Lord, I like a lot of her songs. I gotta admit, that girl's done a lot of music, and I like her music. And I always want to be like, oh, I don't like Taylor Swift. As I like go, oh, I like that song, I like that song, I like that song, I like that song. I was like, oh, good God, I like them all, pretty much. There's very few I have to skip through. I'm very shocked. Even her older stuff. I mean, it's a little bit more kiddish, but you're like, well, that was for the time, and I liked it at the time because she's not that far from my age, but she's 35 or something. So she was becoming big when I was kind of still young, I guess. Young enough, in my 20s. But she started when she was like 14 or something, my goodness. But anyways, I don't care anymore if people hate on my music choices. I used to get embarrassed. Like, I still a little bit. That's why I listen with my ear. Like, I'm always a little embarrassed, like, if the music comes on when I've listened to it and it's, like, Taylor Swift or, like, Tate McRae or something, or any of the, like, kind of, or even, like, Britney Spears. I'm like, oh, let me turn that off. I still get a little bit of that, where I'm like, oh. Did you guys ever, like, where you're driving your car, you're bumping into something, and then you get embarrassed and you drive up next to someone, and you're like, oh, gosh, I don't want them to think I'm an idiot with this music I'm listening to. You, like, turn it on. I used to do that. And I'm like, who cares? Like, it's just weird. The things we care about that other people, no one cares I'm listening. Because it's not like I was listening to, like, bad music where it was, like, cuss words. No, it was just more, like, embarrassing. Like, oh, gosh, it's Britney Spears or something. I mean, I'm a 40-year-old. More like that. Which that actually makes sense, because that was my genre. So it'd be more like if I was listening to one of the younger ones. I don't even know the new young ones. But I still like all the Selena Gomez and Miley Cyrus and all those. Those are closer to my age. Those girls are all in their mid-30s, I guess. But anyways, in celebrity gossip, I heard that Justin and Haley aren't together. I didn't think they were. But I'm sorry now, I've been doing my investigation. It doesn't seem like they've been together for a while. They just, like, once in a while pop up in a photo together. But, yeah, it's kind of sad if you have to have, like, a whole fake relationship. Because, like, you're worried about, like, let's say they broke up, like, a year ago or two, which is probably what they did, whenever the kid was born, probably. But then all this time, like, that's a lot to handle. I feel like that's a lot of lies, That's the thing about, like, in AA, you're taught to not lie, and it really can consume you, because we were even talking about, like, people keeping their real sobriety date in AA, because, like, a guy got a chip today where, you don't ever want to speculate if someone is telling the truth or not, but the attitude of it makes you wonder sometimes, because people that really earned it have like a gratitude and a happiness and they're like proud that they did it. Whereas someone that might be lying about their sobriety, where maybe they slipped up a couple times, it's a little different attitude. And that's just me being biased. You're not supposed to judge people or whatever, but you do wonder, and it made me realize I don't ever want to get worried about what the group thinks. I have to be honest with myself, and be honest about my sobriety days always throughout the whole thing, because we're talking about what if early on someone doesn't tell the truth and then they stick with the sobriety later, but all that time they're going to feel bad about those times that they maybe weren't honest in the beginning or something like that, or maybe it was later on, maybe it was years into it, and then they slip up a handful of times where they don't want to start over. But I think it always eats at you if you're trying to be honest. If you don't really care about that, then fine. If you don't want to be honest, but that doesn't really work good. But it's important. And so there was a girl today that she had just come back after she had been 6 years in the program and then left, and now she's only day 5, and it's big to come back and admit that. A lot of people don't want to do that, because that's the thing about the program is if you drank, you have to start all the way over. So for some people that have years, that can be difficult. I know I didn't want to go back after I drank. I think I had 3.5 years, I think is what I got when I was 22 to 22 to about 26. So what is it? Yeah, it was almost about 4 years. And I at one point drank, but then I kept going to meetings for a minute, but it didn't take long for me to not want to go to meetings anymore, because it just felt, because I didn't tell people that I had drank, and so that dishonesty will get at you. It's not worth it, because that's what the whole meeting is about, is being honest and, helping each other and, getting through your thing. So it feels good. Me and Rich were talking about it. It's just sometimes nice to just have that community, because we are kind of pretty isolated out here, especially since we moved in with Gloria and Annette. We used to get out more, not partying out, but just be out and about. We would go to events. We were always filming the events. That was our thing, because we liked filming things. We always were filming stuff for social media, even no matter if anyone watched it or not. We just liked doing that. We liked going around Vegas and filming things. We did the Raiders Stadium, and we really wanted to do the A Stadium, but we just haven't had a chance. But Richard's now doing the guitar. We did the Resorts World. We did it when they were doing the Virgin, the Fountain Blue. I think we even filmed some stuff when they were doing Circa for a while. Definitely the Sphere, the T-Mobile Stadium. All those things that we would go around and film it, and really for no reason, back as we get 2 views on things. But we just enjoyed it, and it got us out and about always. But now that we're way out here, for one thing, since we've been on such short penny since the pandemic, even just going to film stuff that takes gas and stuff. So we you want to conserve gas and stuff. You don't want to just go drive for a fun project. So it's crazy the amount of stuff that gets cut back when you're really trying to save money. And so when I was going to New York, it was a little easier because we had a little more funds, but now it's kind of back to really conserving. So we end up staying home a lot, which is not necessarily good in the beginning when you're trying to get sober. Just sitting in your house and just staring at the walls you'll drive yourself crazy. So that's what was happening with me through all that time, where I would struggle, and get a certain amount of days, and then I would cave in because I was just sitting here just with myself all day. And now going to the meetings, even if we only go once a day, which we try to go more than once a day, just that accountability of knowing you're going is so helpful. Where I think, okay, so you don't want to drink definitely before the meeting, okay? So that's good. So you got your morning set, right? But then after the meeting, you go, wow, if I drink at any point today, I'll probably smell like alcohol still tomorrow. Because you do smell like alcohol still often, like the next day. And not that they reject you from the meeting, they allow you, but it's an embarrassment thing, you know, like it's a thing of like you kind of want to let everyone out, especially if you have a certain amount of days or years. So it really is an accountability thing, because you go, ooh, I gotta go to that morning meeting. I don't want to, even if I drink today, tomorrow I might still smell like alcohol, I might still look like look like hell or whatever, be hungover, all these things. So it's just not the way you want to go to a meeting. So it's just weird how they say like one day at a time, but it really is, because you're like, well, today I'm good because I don't want to tomorrow go to my meeting all hungover and looking like crap or feeling like crap or whatever the scenario is, or smelling or whatever. And then so each day you just kind of say, well, let's go to that next meeting, and then you make it. So it is very, very helpful. And I was pretty obstinate against going back because I had been in AA court-ordered when I was young, but then I stayed. I enjoyed it, so I stayed past the court-ordered time. But I think I was too young, and since it was court-ordered from a DUI, I probably didn't adapt as well as when you choose to go yourself. And I was saying to Rich, I chose to go for my family at first because, I have a hard time always caring about myself. Like if I lived alone, I'd just be a wreck probably until I, was court ordered probably to stop, but when it comes to when I see I'm hurting my family in some way where, especially if I'm yelling at them or just causing havoc, or especially the yelling at everybody, that's an obvious one. And I do that when I drink. I just start yelling at everybody for no reason, just saying really mean, awful things that are just not even how I feel. You guys, a lot of people witness that. But it's like if it becomes every couple of days or a couple times a week or even a couple times a month or even a couple times a year, it's still just like too much for the family. Doesn't need to put up with that. So I just made the decision the one day, because Richard was like, well, if you keep drinking, you might need to think about, considering like getting treatment or A or something, because it's not working, you're not staying sober. So I said, okay, if I drink again, I'll do something. And then I drank again. This was a while back now, before we first started going to the meeting. And I said, okay, that next day I said, let's try AA. And then I went, and it really just kind of was what I needed, I guess. It's the best way to put it. And it's bringing me back connected with God, which I definitely kind of pushed God out of my life for most of my adulthood, definitely since my mom died. And I think that's been my issue, why. So like when I go to the meetings, I'm like really happy. And it works out because everyone's like, oh, it's so great how happy you are, your name's Joy. And I'm like, if you'd just seen me last year, you would not be thinking the same thing. But that's how most people are when they first come in to the AA. But I haven't worn this yet, because I think the funny thing is, like, if I wear this in like public, not everyone knows my name's Joy. And I love that it says my name. It's from a Menopena. But I also feel like in an AA meeting, it's like, look at me, I'm wearing a shirt with my name. But Rich always wears the Joy Rich stuff, and I just love it. It's so funny about it. If I have and he has a sweater that has Rich all over it. It'd be like, we sit there, like, I'm wearing my Joy, and he's the other Rich. They're just like, you guys. But I'm thinking about wearing it one of these days. But it'll be funny because everyone knows my name is Joy, and they'll be like, oh! Yeah, like, I know. A little obsessed with myself, yes. But everyone in the meeting's like, oh my God, your name is the perfect name. You're so happy all the time. And I'm like, this is weird because I haven't heard that in a long time. Like, I used to hear that when I was young. Like, I was always smiling and happy. But in the last a lot of years, well, I wouldn't say a lot of years, really the pandemic, because me and Richard were still pretty happy. Like, even like with everything, even after my mom had died, I had my sadness times. I always had certain times of year. Like, November was always extremely hard for me. But throughout the year, I would be happy for most of the year. But the pandemic really kind of squashed us down quite a bit, because we had to deal with a lot in the sense of like we moved a bunch of times. We were living all over Manhattan and Panama, which was fun, but also it's a lot. And we kind of grew up during that time, and we went through like you know, having times where having lots of money to having no money, you know, $0. And we had ups and downs in that, they say 5 years was very, very, very up and down for us. Probably the most up and down of our whole relationship. And we've been married 12 years, but together for 14 now. No, wait, yeah, about 14 now. And about 13 and a half. But anyways, the whole rest of the time was much smoother. Besides that year in Panama, it was pretty crazy, the first year in Panama. But that first year in Panama and that year in Manhattan were the probably 2 craziest years of our lives. And then the whole pandemic was very difficult because we went from, you know, like having a pretty steady income to like nothing overnight, you know. And then it was difficult. It was a very, very hard time for us. And I know people probably laugh because, oh, well, it serves you guys right. But whether you think I deserve it or the haters think it's funny or not, it wasn't funny at the time for us, you know, because it was just very scary, you know. And, but we made it through, and now we're on the other side of it, and it seems like Vegas is turning around quite a bit, which is nice to see for not just selfish reasons, but I want Vegas to be successful. I loved how it was in like 2016. 2016, well, we got here in 2013, but 2013 to 2016 were amazing years. But 2016 was one of like the best years. And then up until really, 2017 was good up until the Mandalay Bay tragic incident. And then that really hurt Vegas for a while, but then it started to recover in 2019, and then the pandemic hit. So it was just, you know, oh, and then also what really hurt Vegas is they, you know, started to allow sports betting in more states and online, you know, in more places, and more casinos are being opened in more places lately in the last, you know, however many years. So less and less people are having to come to Vegas to do their sports betting or even to gamble, you know. And it used to be you might not want to go to the places that were available to gamble because they weren't as cool as Vegas, but now a lot of places, like, they've made pretty nice casinos. You know, like there's some really nice ones in New York. The problem there, they don't have dealers, so it's a little weird. It's all electronic, but they're talking about getting dealers soon, so it's going to be pretty soon. Because the facility is just as nice as the ones here at some of the ones in New York. So, but in other places. But they were talking about doing one in Manhattan. I don't know if they're going to do that. That would be crazy. But anyways, it feels like Vegas is starting to come back a little bit, and I like seeing that because it's kind of sad if there isn't that place for people to go and have like a celebration in a sense, and also like it's really good for the conventions because there's so many hotels here. That's why it's nice to have conventions here, because you have everything packed together in a pretty small area, whereas if you're in other cities, the hotels might be really spread apart to fit that many people. So when they have these massive conventions, like Vegas is a fabulous place for that. But you know, when all the conventions stopped, that really hurt Vegas, because that's probably primarily the business, even more than just like regular tourists or, you know, the bachelorette parties or bachelor parties or birthdays and things like that, and weddings and divorces. It's actually the conventions were a huge business for Vegas. And so those are starting to pick up a bit. They said the CES one this year was really good, and it seemed good for us. So we didn't go to the event, but I heard it was wonderful. But it was a consumer electronics show. That was in beginning of January. But I'm happy, and I think I've been very sad. You know, I cried when the pandemic first happened here to Vegas, when they shut everything down, because I was like, it'll never be the same. Like, I just knew immediately, because I was like, most of these places had never even closed ever, and they had like boarded up buildings everywhere on the strip, and like all the casinos like boarded up. Some of them didn't even have a way to close their doors. They didn't have locks, and everything was boarded. It was like, I was like, this is just ridiculous. It was like a ghost town. We walked down there, we filmed it. I just started crying, and I was like, Vegas will never be the same, and it really hasn't been. But this year feels the best so far since the pandemic, so that's good. And it makes sense that, you know, it took this amount of time to kind of get people kind of back rolling with like regularity of life, because that was a big deal. But I feel like before the pandemic, I feel like I was like so young and happy and like, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And then after the pandemic, I was like grumpy and depressed and miserable and got back into addiction, and it's been a mess, especially the alcohol. That's just been really bad. That I should have never picked back up. But it's been a journey. That's my thing, is Jedi Joy journey. It sure has been a journey. So I hope I'm inspiring other people that are struggling. Like, if you really are struggling, like, check out AA again. And even if you've been before, I don't know, it's just something about the community and the fellowship, and people are so nice, and you feel like obligated in a sense to the people, even when we only go to certain meetings or haven't been to a meeting while, we're like, oh, we're kind of, people are thinking about you, and they assume you probably start drinking if you don't come back to the meeting, but sometimes you might be at another meeting. But so sometimes you want to pop back in to say hi to the other meetings and stuff, and it's good. It's good to feel that there's people thinking about you. And especially if you're new, if you acknowledge that you were new, raise your hand, then they look for you and they welcome you, and you're called a newcomer. So it's good, because I don't know, there's very few places that people are just that warm when you walk in, and everyone hugs you, and I'm not the biggest hugger, but I don't mind getting hugs at the AA meetings. Like, I hug everybody. I don't know, but I've never been much of a hugger, so it's interesting. But if I can inspire anyone because I was really struggling, and I still struggle at times, like getting that little desire about it, but I just don't want to go there. Like I say, don't pick up the first drink. But I know it's hard, but the meetings help a lot, like insanely helpful. It's amazing how, like, even some people were talking about this today, it's like you struggle, and you go in there, and then you just feel like quite a weight is lifted, and you don't feel that constant, like, obsession. But you still have your moments and your days, but it's not a overall white knuckling every minute of the day, and that's a lot of times what you're doing if you're doing it on your own. So I was really diving into a big book yesterday. I was reading a bunch for the night. I'm getting tired, and then I went to sleep early. So it's a good book to read, but it might put you to sleep eventually. Actually, any reading puts me to sleep, but it's not the book. But that's why I can only read for a little bit, and then I always fall, because my eyes get tired. I don't know. My family are big readers. I like reading, but for a short amount of time. Like my sister will read like a huge book. She would have the book read in a couple of days. Me, I'm like, no, I'll take my time. But I do enjoy reading when I'm reading. The problem is I have to really focus. If there's a lot of like exterior noise, then I focus on that, like the TV's on or something, and so I have to like really have a real quiet place to read. But it's weird because I can tune out music in my own ear, but I can't tune out other sounds if I'm trying to read. I hear everything, But I can go to sleep with music in my own ear and it doesn't bother me. But then if someone else is making noise around, then I hear that. It's weird. I can even read a book with music in my ear. But then if there's other noises around, I'm like, oh, someone else turn off their music. Like someone else's music will irritate me. I don't ask anyone to turn off their music. I'm kidding about that. But I can't read because someone's got their music on, but then I'll have like my music in my ear. It's like, what's wrong with me? Why is that the case? So weird. But mine's just very soothing. It's like Taylor Swift or something. Other people are like, Gloria's is like, it's all like Latin, like really like a lot of instruments going on. It's fun. It's fun music. It's dance music. So like, I cannot read with this music. Gloria, it's so funny. She watches shorts on the big speaker. So sometimes we hear the same song, like a 30-second to a minute long, version of the song, go over and over, because she'll like a video and she'll just watch it like 20 times, and I'm like, oh dear, how many times? Because it's just like on repeat, that one little part of the song, whatever the short is. So funny. But we get a wide array of music because she'll be watching these shorts and it'll be like these little clips. So I love music, so I never mind when it's on unless I'm reading. I don't ask anyone to turn music, I just don't read. That's the problem. So I find my quiet space. So it was a bulk trash day today, and I put all of ours out. What I've been doing, I'm so excited now, and I figured out it's every other week, which I didn't know that. I thought it was only once a month. which used to be so daunting to me, and I would just like get all freaking out, oh gosh, we're gonna do this trash, and freaking out about it. But now I realize, oh, I only have to wait 1 week in between, but it still bothers me because it piles up, because we have too much trash for the things they have in this thing. I don't know how people fit in the bins they give you, but well, that you rent or from the public service. This is not big enough for the amount of trash we have, so I have to wait till bulk day to get rid of just the rest of our just bags of trash. But I've been trying to make it where it's easier for them. So if we have like the little white trash bags, I'll pile a bunch of those in the big black trash bags, which is a waste of bags, but I feel like it's nicer than just putting a bunch of junk out there. But they'll pick up anything. But we came back from our meeting, and I'd already put all of our stuff out. And they've been coming earlier in the mornings this year than last year. Last year, they didn't come for bulk till later in the day. But now they've been coming in the morning. So I said, let's go just run around the neighborhood just to see if there's anything, because we haven't done that in a long time. And there was like nothing out. I was like, what is going on today? And then I realized they had already come for the bulk. So I was like, man, no one's got any good bulk trash today. Like, this is weird. But they had already gotten to that part of our neighborhood's huge, so it takes them forever to get all the way around. So they'd already done like the part that where we were at, and then because they came and got ours right as we got home. I was like, oh, that's why. But I love bulk day. I hate the regular trash day, like every other week. Oh, darn, it's regular trash day. I can only put it in the bins. Like, because I don't put any of the cardboard in there. We can't fit the cardboard in there. The cardboard all goes out on bulk trash day. So I fold it all up, because we get a lot of cardboard from, we order from Amazon. Like, we order a lot from Amazon in the sense of things like toilet paper, and paper towels, and bunny litter, and bunny hay, and things like that come in these massive boxes. Someone's like, what in the world do we order? And it'll be just like toilet paper and paper towels or the bunny litter. And they put it in huge boxes and stuff. So I, break up all the boxes, and also the Diet Cokes and the Richard's sparkling waters. All those, all that cardboard. So it accumulates over 2 weeks. So I'm like always so happy. It's the silliest thing. I'm like obsessive getting rid of trash. It's like my happiest day because I don't like trash. I don't like when trash is piling up, because it smells for one thing, but also it's just gross, And also before we had moved in, Gloria had a mouse issue here, a huge one. So I don't ever want like any kind of accumulation of food, but we don't have any mice anymore. There's none left, luckily. But I'm like, oh, I don't want this trash pile. But I try to keep it very, very neat and tidy in the garage. I would have this bin to put the extra bags and stuff. But anyways, so this day is my favorite day. But then it starts piling up again, like tomorrow. I'm like, darn it, I wait another 2 weeks. It's the weirdest things that drive me crazy. But I know. We got the guy here working on the key for the car. I guess it's harder. He's giving us a good deal because it's a friend of a friend, but it's very hard for him, I guess, because it's an old car. It's like a 1979, I think it is. So, what a mess. It's so irritating because it's those guys' fault, the last two guys, but neither of them have the key now. And we didn't just discover this. We told them as soon as we discovered it that we didn't have it, and they said they didn't have it then, and we just haven't dealt with it because it's an expense that, But we have to get this done before the end of the lawsuit time frame. So now we're in a bind to get everything done, and now we got to deal with the key thing. But it's so irritating because we didn't lose the key. It got lost it was at one shop and went to another shop, and then the towman. So either it didn't get given they had it at the second shop, so it didn't get lost at the first shop, so we narrowed that one down. But so it was either from the second shop to getting to our place with the towman. And it's the same tow truck guy we use, and he's another one that's a friend of a friend. It's our mechanic refers us these guys, but they're legit, but they're kind of like cheaper than the other people, I guess. So you kind of get what you pay for, I guess. You know what I mean? So you can't squawk too much because you're like, well, it did save us a lot of money. It's probably about the amount of the key now, because we've used it many times, and each time saved us money, and we're like, well, at least it's not expensive as our other key. Good God. The older cars are actually much more affordable for the keys because they're pretty simple. But I guess he's having trouble because it's so old that he has to find the right key or something. I don't know how they do that stuff. So he had to come back today. He was here yesterday and he's back. He's back now again today, working on the. And then our next project, we got to tow it to the mechanic to get a diagnostic. We're not getting it fixed. Can't afford that. Good Lord. Already tried that. That's what we're suing for because we spent $10,000 to get the car fixed and they didn't fix it at all. It's like worse than before, pretty much. They put shocks on it, so that's the only thing they did do. But we didn't need shocks. Well, we needed shocks, but we needed the car to run. You don't need shocks for your car to run. So even our mechanic's like, why would they put shocks when you went in there to get it running? Because Gloria dropped off the car for it to get running. And they quoted her $1,400. And they started adding things like shocks and all this stuff that had nothing to do with getting it running. And they never got it running. And $10,000 later that I paid for, that was me going to New York at different times. Back in the past. And we had to tow it out of there. So we had to tow it to the other mechanic, and he told us, oh, his car's all messed up. And then he said, you have to pay me at least $4,000 to even get it going a little bit again. Oh, Jesus. Forget that. So then we just towed it back home, and that's where it's been. And during that time, they didn't return us the key either. Fabulous. But Richard already has got the lawsuit going. We got the lawyer. We got the, we went to DMV where you have to do something at DMV. I don't know. Richard was dealing with a lot of paperwork. But you have to file something at DMV, and then, because we're going to small claims, I think. And then, there's something else. I don't know. He's doing it all. I don't know. But, just a mess. It's always something with us. It just never goes smoothly. It's always like, But the more we've been kind of going to meetings and stuff, not kind of going to meetings, I guess I should say, the more we've been going to meetings, life has been that's where the word goes, been getting better. You know what I mean? It's kind of like each day getting a little better. Like things just go a little more smoothly. But things are always a little bumpy for us. But that's all right. We don't mind a little bumpy, but sometimes it's too many waves going on. Oh, bless you. Oh, bless you. I was like, someone's sneezing. It was Richard. I could hear him from inside. So Casper's doing good. He's not happy. Casper's my bunny, for those of you who don't know. He's still fat, but we do have him on a diet. I don't know how he always stays fat. It's like somehow, no matter what we get him, he manages to overeat it. And we try to not give him too much, but then he's just a tyrant. But all we have him on now is lettuce and hay. But he still is like, oh, he's a tyrant about trying to get them pellets. We don't even have them anymore. But he knows where they used to be. So he just goes nuts. He goes over there, and then he goes over to his bowl, and then he pulls his bowl out, and then he rips apart his litter box. And you're like, we know what you want, Casper. He thinks we don't know what he wants, and that frustrates him. And then you feel bad because you're like, I know what you want, buddy. I know you want the pellets, but I can't give them to you, nor do I even have them anymore. But he just goes, he gets so darn mad, and then I'll like put some lettuce out, and he'll like stick his nose or butt up to it, and then he just and he goes under the bed, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. Like, the vet said you can't have any more. You're too fat. But you feel bad because he doesn't have a lot to look forward to. He's a bunny, and he's like, runs around the room. I mean, I have other things, like he has bamboo sticks that he eats, he's got these little hay blocks, and lots of chew toys and things. But it's pretty boring in a sense, probably for him, and especially after he got neutered. When before he was neutered, he was like trying to, jump on everything, so that was fun for him. But so you feel bad when you have to monitor the one thing that he enjoys, but the vet said no more. So we weaned him off, but not very well, obviously, because he's not taking it well. He's a funny bunny. But Bunny's coming up pretty soon, you guys, on the 1st. On the first day of every month, the first thing you say, oh, there's a little, okay, sorry, I'll get back to that, hold on. This is one of the adorable little hummingbirds. So we have so many hummingbirds. Hi, cutie. I think this is Jeremiah. Jeremiah! Jeremiah! Yeah, it's Jeremiah. Jeremiah is our original one. So, okay, I'll get back to the bunny thing. But I don't know if you guys know this about hummingbirds, that like certain times of day, I guess it is, they guard a feeder. One of them claims it, okay? And that's like set in stone once they claim it. That's like theirs. I don't know what their little ritual of how that is, you know, you come back with a, half a wing or something. But that is the one hummingbird's feeder for that certain time frame of the day, because not all day. But during that time, no one else can drink from it. Like they run off every other hummingbird. They don't share it all. And I'm like, what the heck? So our first hummingbird that we noticed did that. We called her Jeremiah, but we think we found out it was a girl. We thought it was a boy. But she ended up having babies, I think. Because she got really fat one time. We were like, what the heck's wrong with her? And she was eating so much. And then there was all these little hummingbirds like, oh, I think she was a girl. But her name's still Jeremiah. She had the one hummingbird feeder that basically broke. We couldn't get it open and things like it's done. But that was hers. And so when we got the new ones, apparently another hummingbird claimed it. Oh, she was infuriated. And she was really mad at us. She kept coming out the window wanting her other feeder back. And we're like, oh, it doesn't work anymore, sweetie. And so we didn't know what to do because she was very upset about this. And, she had been our main little hummingbird for almost like 2 years now. And so we put another one when no one liked that one anyways. She's like, she didn't like it, but the other guy claimed it. So then we got 2 new ones that they're identical. And she gets one of them. But the other guy still tries to, there's a new guy that claimed the new one because they claim it and then it's theirs. He tries to get both of them, but she fights for the lower one. And I see her. She's like, no, this one's mine. But we felt really bad because we were like, oh, we kind of gave her the boot. We didn't mean to. Like, we didn't realize, like that one feeder was hers. But when a new feeder comes in, I guess they have a new, like a chance for anyone can grab it. And whoever gets it first, finders keepers on that one. So we felt really bad. But then, so we had 2 back here and we used to have another feeder out there, but we were never really looking out there because we're not out there that often, and that's out there. But we didn't know what was going on. But so we took one of the feeders from over there and put it back here before we got these other 2. And so now we have 4 feeders, but only 3 are up because one of them they don't like. We had to return 1 today, or 2. We returned 2. Yes, we have 4. We had to return 2. One of them we can't return because we've had too long, but they don't like it. And then another one's broken. So a lot of feeders, but the other guy was freaking out because there was no feeder out there. I didn't know because we didn't know that they were. We didn't really notice that one was ever really going through the food that often. Like it took them longer, so we're like, oh, no one really uses that one. But he was freaking out because how they freak out is they come at the window and they'll like let you know, hey, what's going on? Where's my feeder? So we put one out there and now he's all happy. And Richard said he came immediately. Like as soon as Richard put it up and had filled it up, the new feeder, here came that little guy. So he had to claim it. You can tell the difference. They all have different colors and stuff once you look at them for a while. So we're not crazy. There's not like, Wilson one. No, sometimes no. The other day we had 4 of them on here. 3 on one feeder and 1 on the other. All out there eating at the same time. Because it wasn't the time that they guard it. There's certain times they allow all the hummingbirds to drink from the feeder. Certain times no, only the one who owns it in a sense. But anyway, so on the first thing you have to say on the 1st of every month, when you wake up, we like to do it at midnight. We literally set our alarm for like 11:58, and then it'll go off and we're like, bunny, bunny, bunny. To say bunny, 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 or rabbit, 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 but I say bunny, 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 because I like bunnies better. And it's supposed to give you good luck all month long. And we've been doing it for a long time, like 2 years now, or maybe even 3 years. And it does, I don't know, it does seem to have like something, I don't know. I know it's kind of like believing in something, but I don't know. It does make me really happy when we do it. So that's your superstitions or whatever you want to believe on that, but it's a fun thing to do. But the problem is you'll forget and then you'll say something else. And so it's kind of just a fun thing to be like, oh, you got to remember to have it be the first thing you say. So if you don't set your alarm for midnight, it's like as soon as you wake up, it's supposed to be the first thing you say. So we're going to do that in a couple days, because what's it, the 27th? Yeah. This month has actually kind of flown by. We primarily have just been doing AA. I mean, most of the month. Because in the beginning, we were going to a lot of meetings each day. And we might go to another meeting today. It just depends on how the day goes, if we feel like going to 2. But we always go to 1. It's usually always a morning one. And then we decide if we want to go to either a lunch or like a 2:30 or a 5:30 or a 7 p.m. There's like all these different options. There's even more options than that, but those are the ones that we've kind of done. But it just kind of depends. But usually in the evening, I don't struggle at all because I go to sleep, and then my only struggle is going to work. But that's just something I have to deal with because, I could maybe go to a meeting right before work, but I don't really know when my work is. So it's like I have to just be strong, and I've been able to do that. So I'm feeling really good about that. And I always used to be strong with work. It was just a recent thing that I started to struggle more with that. So people think, oh, you had to be not sober for your job. No, that was just a recent thing. But then when I got in that habit, then you get used to that, where it becomes like, not even necessarily where it was just like with work, or it was like maybe even after work, like a celebration for working, you know what I mean? And you got to get out of that mode. If you don't want to do an addiction, then you got to get out of the mode of like celebrating like yourself in a way with something like a bad food, like with a cake or something, you know, where you're like, oh, I lost weight, let me have a cake. You know, it's like, or I didn't do this thing for so long, so let me celebrate with that thing, you know what I mean? You don't want to do that because, not that you don't want to celebrate in some sense, but you don't want the thing that you're rewarding yourself to be a negative thing. Like, a lot of times people will eat bad food when they're celebrating, or drink alcohol when they're celebrating, you know what I mean? And those things are actually harmful for you.
How long are you reading the book, like, beginning to end?
Yeah.
What chapter are you on? Do you want to know?
I'm still in the beginning. I don't remember what chapter it is. I don't know. I have my bookmark in there, so I don't know which chapter it is. Yeah, I don't remember which chapter it is. I don't really pay attention to the chapters. I've just been reading. Like, I just read through. So I don't know which chapter I'm in. I know I didn't finish the chapter last night, whichever one I was reading. I was gonna, and then I got too tired. I had like a couple more pages.
Can you start your lunch?
Yeah, that'd be good. But I'm still in the very beginning. I've read all the beginning stuff and the doctor's opinion and all that kind of stuff. So I'm in, I forget which chapter I was reading. That's the problem is I have to like go back and refresh every time of what I read the day before. Because it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. And you go to so many meetings, you hear so many things and stuff, so you get filled with a lot of good ideas and a lot of good thoughts. But it's good to like every time I read, the next day go back and kind of like reread a lot of the ones I read before the day before to kind of like absorb it more. I mean, people read that book over and over and over, so I'm not getting very far because I'm kind of going to keep backtracking. Especially if I got distracted anyway while I was reading. I hate that when I read it, I got distracted, and then I'm like, what did I just read? So that drives me nuts. So I actually really enjoy reading that book because it's very helpful because you don't feel so alone, like you don't feel so weird, you know, like I was reading the other day about Bill's journey in the beginning where he was really struggling with he even they said he was going to die in the hospital, and he went through those horrible tremors and stuff, and then he drank again, and it's I can totally relate to that, because I was dealing with that, you guys saw where I was going through these insane withdrawals, and then I would drink again, and people who aren't alcoholics, they scratch their head. They're just I don't understand, how can you keep doing this? And it's great when you read those things because it just makes you feel not that much of a freak. I mean, you might be a freak, but there's other freaks. So I find it extremely helpful. And I also was really relating because, he was living in Manhattan a lot of time, and he was talking about the struggle in Manhattan, it is like the vibe there is like, you know, it's a lot of money and a lot of like excess of, which means like people, you know, drink a lot, or people do a lot of drugs there if that's what you're into, or people make, you know, a lot of money, a lot of gambling occurs there, a lot of just like vices. You know, a lot of smoking. People smoke cigarettes a lot in New York, which I hadn't seen that in years. And in New York, it's amazing how many people smoke cigarettes still. Like, you're just like, really? In 2026, really? I guess I wasn't there in 2025, really? I kind of thought it was kind of like getting phased out a little bit, like especially with the younger gen, but like, no, it's like really common there. And you can smoke like anywhere there. I mean, not like near buildings, but like you can, not inside, but like you can smoke in public. Like they have areas and stuff, you know. And you can also smoke weed in public there too, which is interesting because you can't here in Vegas. So there's just like, there's just a lot more, I guess, openness. Like it's a real openness for things being sold to, like people openly sell illegal weed on the corners, like with cops everywhere. Like it's just like, it's not, they don't stop it. Like they're there with the jars full of weed. Like here's their black market weed and they're selling it on the corner. It's not like a concealed thing in any sense. Like it's so what that means for someone that struggles with things like alcohol, that vibe is very difficult to be around. And, you know, he was a Wall Street broker and talks about, you know, like everyone, you know, there's a lot of partying that occurs, you know, with brokers and stuff, you know, in Wall Street. Those guys work hard and party hard kind of thing, you know. And so it's just a different vibe, and it's very, you know, fast paced, and it's go, 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 and people, you know, want things, you know, where they're going and going, going all day long. And that energy is fun to be around, but if you're struggling with sobriety, it's not a great energy to be around, to be honest. I bet much calmer energy is better. Like in Vegas, people think Vegas is crazy. It's funny because like in the AA meetings, they always say, how it's funny that they got sober in Vegas, where me and Rich have always gotten sober in Vegas. It's weird how like on the Strip is one thing, but the rest of Vegas isn't like the Strip. And so something about like the sunshine and like actually having the sunshine every day is helpful, where you kind of like, I know like the times that I did drink and like just kind of stayed indoors, like especially if it was like a dark bar, I almost felt bad if I stepped outside and it was like a nice sunny day, you know, like in Vegas. You'd be like, oh, look at this, I missed this beautiful day. Where in places like New York or even like Portland, where me and Rich lived, it's dreary a lot. So you didn't mind being inside, like especially if it's like dark and cold and rainy or snowing. You're like, oh, put me in a dingy bar, you know, that's great, and keep me there all day. But
Jessica says she loves your boots.
oh, thank you. You know, these were my Manhattan boots that have, oh gosh, you guys, these have just had, they literally have probably so much alcohol spilled on them. I've tried to wipe them off several times, but they're kind of stained because they were my New York boots, and they also have been my boots all these times. I don't know if you've seen any of the footage before I went to AA here in Vegas when I was struggling, when I'd go out in my pajamas, I'd always have these boots on. And they just have been a little bit of a, I don't know, kind of a reminder of how life gets kind of messed up when you drink. It's like they're literally they're so stained. They're so like, I mean, they weren't expensive boots, so it's not the end of the world, but it's still, it's just like, I like to keep my stuff nice. And these things, I mean, they're a mess. Like they have like spots all over them. I think they were only like $40 from Amazon, but I mean, literally, they're just like, cause I've spilled and I've been falling over in bushes and all kinds of running around Manhattan, running around Brooklyn. I mean, these are my like infamous boots, I guess you'd call them. But they are very comfortable. Amazingly, like I run around these things. I can walk miles. These are what I was wearing when I walked up the hill and I told you guys about. I was so fortunate, honestly, that nothing legal happened this time, because I could have had, you know, getting, you know, public intoxication. You're not supposed to do that. But the cops were so nice. They like just made sure I got home. But I had these boots on and I was supposed to walk up the hill, and I was like staggering. Like, oh. So they called Richard for me, which was just so nice, and he came and picked me up. But They could have just arrested me. You're not supposed to be wasted in public. But I couldn't believe it. They're like, we just want to make sure you get home safe and you can't drink anymore tonight. Like, we don't want you going to any more bars or anything like that. I don't know. But that was my only incident that happened with the police. But I thought, next time I might not be as lucky. And I was pushing it because I was falling asleep like in bushes and stuff, and you can't do that. Or even in front of like the Walgreens or something. You can't be like passed out. You can get arrested doing that. So I thought they had pulled me over when I was walking. I told everyone I was drunk walking. But I was actually in a bush. They found me in a bush, and then I tried to drunk walk home. And they were going to let me walk home, but they said they were going to follow me all the way. And I was like, oh, this is embarrassing, because I was like staggering. I was like, oh, I don't want to walk all the way home with the cops follow me, like inching behind me in their car. They said they couldn't put me in the car because then that would be like only if they want to arrest me. I was like, oh, yeah, no, I don't want that. Because like, can you give me a ride? I asked the cops. Oh, stupid. It's not funny. It's ridiculous, but it is funny when you, like, there's a lot of funny things in AA when you think back. Like, it's not funny, the incident that happened, but when you think back of, like, the stupidity that you did, you can only just laugh at the ludicrousy of it. But there's a lot of laughter in AA.
Okay.
No way. Okay, good.
I have to go. So can you take over the?
Where are you going?
I have to go get to the bank with him to give him the money.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. I'll take over the cooking.
So do you want to just end this, or do you want to take them?
It don't matter either way.
It's been about an hour.
We could probably just end it.
I'm gonna run to the bank real quick.
Okay. Had you already started it? Is it already on the grill?
Yeah, it's going right now.
Oh, okay. Okay, Mark. Okay, then I'll finish it. You want me to do your, do you want burgers?
That'd be great.
Okay. Did you end it?
Not yet. Do you want me to?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Because it's kind of messy in there. Kind of gross.
You can do it. That's fine.
I don't know.
Okay, hand me the thing. The microphone.
I'm good.
Okay, guys. All right, guys. Well, I have to go. Hey, tell you what. Why don't you guys come with me? Come on.
I want to get out my next sweatshirt.
Yeah. So we're gonna.
Oh, you're gonna bring it?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring them. Here is the key.
but
Do not lose these.
Oh, you can. If you want to keep it going, you can keep it going.
I'll keep it going. I'm just gonna.
No, so if you really want to leave it, I thought you were ending it. But if you really want to leave it.
Nah, I don't need to end it. Okay, guys, I'm gonna end it. It's too much work.